Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Your key to the week this week is the Wheel of Fortune, right? And what this tells me more than anything else, yes, the winds of change are blowing in your favor. Yes, this is a moment of good luck. It might even be some form of a cosmic detour that shows up for you over the course of this week. What this really says to me is this week, and the message that I got from this as soon as I placed it on the board was, this week you have to make yourself available, all right? So whatever it is or whoever it is that pops up this week, offering whatever, whether this is an opportunity for work, whether it's a date, whether it is friends that want to get together, this week you want to be available. And the reason I say this is whatever you are being invited to, whatever is showing up for you, that is not the thing that is important here. That's the message that I get from this. So you have to be available. Chances are, let's say, I don't know, a friend invites you out and you say, yeah, you know what, I'll come, let's go for some drinks, let's go for, you know, have something to eat. We are talking about Taurus after all. Right, you go, and let's say you've been saying for the last year, you know, I can't find anybody, you know, all the people that I do find are unsuitable, and you know, you go to this thing with a friend that is about that as it starts. You end up meeting somebody along the way of that. So whatever it is that you're invited to or you go to this week, there's something else that you show up for. So you have to make yourself available this week. That is the overarching message of this whole week, is availability. With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options, you have the Two of Wands. I love this card for action because it is a very active card. A lot of people talk about this as like, oh, you're making a decision. We're talking about the Suit of Wands. There's no decision, like, yes, there will be decisions made, but this is about acting on something. This is also in the this is not a tarot lesson, Raf. You just get to it. You've got this with the Wheel of Fortune, which basically suggests whatever you are stepping forward with this week, especially if it has something to do with money, resources, rubbing shoulders with movers and shakers, people that run or move in affluent circles, this is the week for you to tap your network when it comes to people who have a significant net worth. All right, there's something about this where you're mixing, mingling or interacting with people that may in some way, shape or form force you to level up. You might, you know, feel kind of like, oh, I feel like I'm a little bit out of my depth here. It's not that you are, it's just that you're having to not compete is the wrong word, but you're having to show up at a higher level than you usually would. I kind of feel like for a lot of you, this may very well be a week where you find that you are a big fish in a little pond and so everything's fine, but you're going to find yourself in a much bigger pond with much bigger fish this week, which is going to force you to grow in some way. For your communications and conversations, you have the Three of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. So there is a lot of information flying about this week, and there's a lot of gathering of information. There's a lot of understanding or ideas that are being chucked around right now. This may be a week where hard work is required of you when it comes to the profession, and there might not necessarily be anything in the way of tangible results. It might literally just be you're getting good news, you know, good things are shaping up, things are, you know, you're hearing all the right stuff, but it's like, okay, but where's the tangibles? Because you're a Taurus, you're always looking for that tangible final result, you know, that hard asset. There aren't going to be any this week. And so for that reason, if you haven't seen the weekly general, please check it out, because I think it might make a lot of sense to you. This is a week to really, like, the work has to be done without, like, you know, this is not tidbit week. All right, if you're looking for, oh yeah, you know, well, I've done this now, so I get a treat. If you're looking for that, it's not that kind of week, all right, especially when it comes to the work or the profession. For those of you that are students and studying or in some form of academia, this is very likely to see you interacting with people in your same field, but they are approaching things in very different ways. It might also highlight to you where the gaps in your own knowledge actually are this week. And again, don't take this as a, oh, I'm rubbish, I don't know as much of them. It's not about that, right? So if you're doing that, or you're doing the whole, oh, well, you know, I've done a little bit of hard work, so now I can kick back and relax and have a treat. If you're doing either one of those things, you're not doing what you need to be doing this week, all right? When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, I know a lot of you are saying, well, what do we need to be doing this week then, Raf? Getting to it, roll up your sleeves, get to work and do the work. Don't whatever gap in your knowledge is highlighted to you, that's where you work hard. Whatever you've done and you think, wow, you know what, I've done a lot of hard work and now I can rest. No, I can't. Now that I've finished that and worked hard there, I continue on with this. All right, this is not a week where you get to stop and be woe is me or to indulge yourself. You just have to keep going. All right, you can't afford to be looking here, there and everywhere. Get your focus on and get on with it. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, there's opportunities here that show up for you potentially that come up with either some form of travel. It could be that your boss is sending you on some kind of course. That might be, for some of you, it's a correspondence course. It could be as well that through your work, maybe you decide to study more or to take on some new qualification course. And by doing so, you realize, like, damn, you know what? Like, you know, like, I know my stuff, but these people really know their stuff. There's something here this week where you're being forced to level up, but in the best way if you take it that way. If you know, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, some piece of information that you gain this week, very much by, maybe not by accident, but it's like information that you come across this week that wasn't necessarily for you, but is actually very useful to you, you will action this week. And by doing so, you will put yourself ahead of the curve. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this might literally just be that you're going back to school or going into some form of training because there's something that you feel will be useful moving forward. For your love, it could also be as well for a select few of you that you're going, like, so as let's say you're a grandparent or you're a parent, maybe you decide to go back to some sort of study so that you can help the kids more with their homework. It could be something as simple as that. It could be something as bigger as what I mentioned earlier. You got the Six of Wands for the love and relationships, partnership, relationships. So for those of you that are married, partnered or in long-term commitments, this is beautiful. And it also suggests that you and a partner are either planning a trip, or there is again, you know, this could be some kind of travel, especially because you've got it with the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. There's a sense here, especially with that Two of Wands, that you and your partner are finding yourself in spaces and places that are more affluent, that are nicer than the usual surroundings that you find yourself in, that are, you know, maybe in a wealthier sort of area. It's very possible. With that Six of Wands though, you and your partner, you and your significant other, you're going to be having a conversation this week that really gets you to kind of say, okay, this is where we are, but this is where we could be if we do this, this and this. There's something about you and your significant other where you're putting a plan together this week, and I kind of feel like it's going to take you being out of your comfort zone in order for you to action that. For those of you that are single, like I said, whatever invites come up for you this week through friends, especially even through family, you know, if your family have set you up this week, it might be one of the times where they've actually got it right. You know, most of the time you're like, oh my gosh, please, no more, no more. You know, like, please, just quit, guys, quit while you're ahead. Not this time. Like, this time they could get it right. For those of you that, like I said, are invited to stuff by friends, colleagues, peers, go ahead, because there's a chance this week that you could meet somebody that is really, really, truly awesome. For your money and materials, you've got the Lovers card. So you've got two sixes here, because the Lovers card is number 6. Six of Wands, two sixes, balance or irritability, but this is balance. The balance point this week is, like I said, you can't, so in the middle of, oh, woe is me, I can't do this, I haven't got as much knowledge or as much skill, or my stuff isn't as pretty as that person's, in between that and, well, you know what, I've worked really hard, so I'm going to kick back and have some cream cakes now. That would probably be me. In between that is the hard work track. Stay on that track, all right? Whatever comes up this week, yes, be available. That part of this is really important. But as for everything else, don't look for goodies or treats. Don't worry about the gap in your knowledge, because that's showing you this is where you need to apply yourself. I can't stress this to you enough this week. For your money and materials, it looks like you're making a big financial decision this week. Some of you for your future. I would say as well, whatever plans you are making this week that you're putting down on paper, these are likely to be the plans that you have or that you work towards for the next 3 years. So there's nothing small about this week for you guys. It's actually quite a pivotal one. For the physical health and vitality, the Lover's card is the upper extremities. So the arms, the hands, the fingers, all of this kind of stuff. Anything that requires fine motor skills this week might be something really good to look at. I'm just trying to think of an example, especially things that you have to do with both hands. Things that force you to be ambidextrous in some way could be really great for you this week. And then when it comes to your home and environment, for some of you, you could be inviting someone into the home, very possible. But for others, this also suggests that you're making decisions about the future of the place that you live in. So whether this is a move, whether it's that you're going to beautify the place, all of that kind of stuff. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.